Their irrelevant optics. The words slipped through the air casually, like they didn't carry weight, like they weren't capable of landing hard. Isabella Everhart froze. She stood just outside the main ballroom, half hidden by a marble pillar, waiting for her friend to return from the restroom. She'd been counting breaths, reminding herself she could survive one more hour in borrowed heels and a borrowed life. Then she heard him. Smile, shake hands, write the checks. Adrian Caldwell continued into his phone, his voice low and controlled. It's not about impact. It's about perception. Isabella's stomach twisted. She didn't mean to listen. She really didn't, but something about the way he said it, so calm, so dismissive, made it impossible not to. She peeked around the column. He stood a few feet away, phone to his ear, posture relaxed, perfectly tailored suit, perfectly composed expression. He looked like a man who had never doubted he belonged exactly where he stood. The real conversations happen upstairs, he added. This is just theater. Something hot flared in Isabella's chest. Theater. She glanced back toward the ballroom, toward the donors, volunteers, and organizers mingling beneath glittering chandeliers. People who believed they were helping. People who were helping, even if the system was flawed. Before she could talk herself out of it, her feet moved. That's an interesting way to describe generosity. Adrian turned mid-sentence, surprise flickering briefly across his face. He ended the call without apology and slid his phone into his pocket. Yes, he said, clearly annoyed. Can I help you? Isabella crossed her arms, heart pounding. You can start by not calling people irrelevant when they're standing 10 feet away. Recognition flashed in his eyes. You were listening. I was standing here, she replied. You were talking. His jaw tightened. Then you misunderstood. No, she said evenly. I didn't.
The air between them shifted, tightened. A few nearby conversations softened, curiosity humming beneath polite smiles.
This isn't the place, Adrian said quietly, stepping closer, lowering his voice. If you have something to say, choose your moment. Her pulse jumped, but she didn't move back. I thought this was the moment, she said, since we're surrounded by people whose money matters more than their intentions. His eyes darkened. You don't know what you're talking about. Isabella laughed softly, though there was no humor in it. That's usually what powerful men say when someone disagrees with them. For the first time, his composure cracked, just slightly. You think I don't care? He asked. I think, she said, holding his gaze, that you've convinced yourself caring is inefficient. Silence stretched. He studied her like a puzzle he hadn't planned on solving. And you've decided that makes me the villain. I didn't say villain, she replied. I said dismissive. That's worse, he said flatly. She shrugged. Truth usually is. Something flickered in his eyes then. Annoyance, yes, but also something sharper. Curiosity. As if he couldn't quite decide whether he wanted to shut her down or listen. You should be careful, he said. This world doesn't reward people who speak without leverage. Isabella felt the warning beneath his words, felt it press against old fears she worked hard to keep buried. Still, she smiled. Then it's a good thing I'm not here for a reward. She turned away before he could respond, her hands trembling slightly as she wove back into the crowd. She told herself she'd done what felt right, that she didn't care what he thought. Yet her skin still buzzed, aware of him behind her. Adrian remained where he was, watching her retreat. He told himself he was irritated, that he didn't have time for idealists or interruptions or women who challenged him without understanding the cost. But irritation didn't explain the tightness in his chest, or the fact that her words echoed louder than any boardroom argument ever had. Marcus Hale appeared beside him. "Everything all right?" Adrian didn't answer immediately. His gaze followed Isabella across the room, her posture straight, her steps measured, like she refused to shrink even when she didn't belong. "No," Adrian said finally. Marcus raised an eyebrow. Adrian exhaled slowly. But it just got interesting. And for the first time in years, the Ice King of Wall Street realized something deeply unsettling. He didn't want the fire extinguished. He wanted to know how close he could stand before it burned him.